It's the day before Christmas, December 24th, new comic book day. We have a nice haul today. It's got 3 absolute titles, so we're gonna get into it. This video also includes a top 25 list of my favorite reads of the year, collected edition graphic novels, omnis, deluxe editions, and then at the tail end of the video, the last topic, comments that you guys left on my videos. We get into that as well, and also going into the story of how Jim Lee followed me on Instagram. But let's get into the comic book haul. Starting off, my pick of the week, Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 15. You guys are seeing it, the first team up of the Absolute universe, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, absolutely hyped. Gotta get into that. So that's gotta be the pick of the week. Absolute Martian Manhunter, close second for pick of the week. This series returns from its little mini hiatus. Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez, bringing us some heat, some psychedelic heat in this series. Really excited to get back into that after that little hiatus. Absolute Superman issue 14. One of the most exciting things coming out of DC right now. I think this stuff with Ra's al Ghul is pretty compelling, and I think that the sad boy Superman, I just vibe with it so hard. So Absolute Superman issue number 14. Excited to get into that. Excited to see the final part in the Battle of Smallville, and then the final part of this Green Arrow series with issue number 31. Montos, Chris Condon, and Adriana Lucas say goodbye to their Green Arrow title, their time on the title. I've loved it all the way throughout. I've spoken about it on the channel quite a lot. Didn't help, series still got canceled. That's all right. DC KO tie-in with Justice League Unlimited issue number 14. This is the Terrific 10 part 3. I've been liking all the DC KO tie-ins that I've read. The Terrific 10 stuff is pretty fun so far too. It's Mr. Terrific leading a team of time-displaced heroes to do a mission that no other team can do. And yeah, pretty fun so far. DC KO tie-in there. Speaking of DC KO, we have Lex Luthor versus the Demon in Superman number 33. This is a Joshua Williamson with Hayden Sherman on the art. I didn't know that that was a thing, so now I'm way more excited about it than I was previously. Seeing some Hayden Sherman artwork, of course, is always a treat. From Dark Horse Comics, we have Masterminds issue number 3. Zach Thompson written series. I like supporting him. Really good sci-fi stuff, and really enjoying this Dark Horse comic series. And then the only Image comic for today, we have Skinbreaker issue number 4. Robert Kirkman, David Finch written. David Finch is doing the art of this series. Robert Kirkman is doing the writing. Excellent, excellent stuff. I'm liking this series all throughout. I do think that it's getting better issue to issue. And then last but not least, a little collected edition today. We have a first printing for the direct market, like straight to the bookstore version of The Dark Knight Returns. So from 86, I love having this old kind of trade, the first printing of the classic Batman series from Frank Miller. So really enjoy having this in the collection now. But that's what we got for new comic book day, December 24th. Be sure to check out the rest of the video. Like I said, it includes my top 25 reads of 2025 and then answering your guys' comments that you've left on my videos throughout the month. It also includes the story of how Jim Lee followed me on Instagram. But yeah, use the chapters down below, and I'll see you guys next week. Very special video for you guys today. As you can see, I got a big old stack of collected edition comic books. This stack right here, these are the 25 best collected editions that I read this year in 2025. Best 25 of 2025. You guys get it. We're gonna get into this and we're gonna kind of rip through it. I'm not gonna show you guys very much of the art. I think I'll just give you guys my brief thoughts on each read, and hopefully give you guys some great recommendations as you head into the next year. A lot of this stuff didn't come out this year either. Me being a newer comic book reader, I started in like 2022, but it's all stuff that was new to me in the year of 2025. So let's get into it. My number 25 pick of the year, let's go with Sex Criminals, Chip Zdarsky, Matt Fraction series. One of the wackiest reads of all time. The story is about two people, a couple, whenever they have sex, the world freezes. They decide to commit crimes while the world's frozen. Just a really, really wacky read. I ended up loving the character of Susie, John, and the rest of the ensemble. Just a great read, man. Everybody should check this out. It's not for everybody, I guess I'll say that, and definitely not, recommended for younger readers, but I quite enjoyed reading Sex Criminals. Easily on my 25 list at the number 25. Number 24, let's go Houses of the Unholy. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips story here. I guess with me, this one just wasn't my favorite Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips read. Obviously, it's got the classic artwork that you might know if you're familiar with Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips stuff. It dealt with the satanic panic and this girl who was involved in the satanic panic when she was a kid. As she's growing up, Turns out someone's killing all the kids who were a part of the Satanic Panic, and she kind of investigates what's going on with that. Kind of like the ramifications, the consequences of being a part of the Satanic Panic when she was a kid. It's all coming up and catching up to her when she's an adult. I guess for me, this one, like I was saying, just not my favorite Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips read. But then more than that, I'm not a fan of how this one ended. Kind of left very unsatisfying taste in my mouth, but it's still an Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips read. It's still better than most comics you'll have a chance to read. Just not my favorite out of their stuff, and not my favorite of the stuff that I read this year. Let's get into my number 23 pick. We're going with Die. Kieran Gillen, Stephanie Hans. This is something I read very recently, and I just fell in love with the world of Die. As you can see here, it's kind of like a, fantasy sort of world. These 6 kids are sucked into the world of Die. It's kind of like a reverse Jumanji. My fireplace thing just ran out, hold on. They escape the world of Die, and when they're adults, they get sucked back into the world of Die. So very, very cool with this reverse Jumanji sort of story, but it's like the artwork for me from Stephanie Hans, just so sick. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely check out Die. There's a new series coming out right now called Die Loaded. It's a sequel series to this, so you gotta read this first, but it's also excellent. So yeah, Kieran Gillen, the more I read of Kieran Gillen's stuff, the quickly he climbs up my favorite writers of all time list. Speaking of writers I love, let's talk James Tynion IV, Something is Killing the Children, Deluxe Edition, book number 1. I read this previously in single issues, but this is where I stopped reading the series, right after this material. So although I've read this before and I ended up loving it again in this deluxe edition format, I gotta read what's beyond this, man, because that's gonna be some all new material for me. So when I get into deluxe edition number 2, you guys can expect that to be on my end of the year list next year, I'm sure. So yeah, really enjoyed. It's a classic series. I'm sure most people know about this, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. My reread of it this year in preparation for that new material that I haven't read yet. Let's talk Vagabond, dude. So Vagabond was the only manga I read this year. Oopsie, that was a reading goal. Failed that reading goal quite spectacularly, but I loved Vagabond. I'm gonna continue reading Vagabond next year, I think, and just really love the main character here. I love how down and out he is, but near the end, sort of picks himself back up and has a new reason to live, and I thought that kind of message was really powerful. So Vagabond for me, an instant classic, easily goes on my list at the number 21 spot. Number 20, we're going 20th Century Men. Got a little cute with the placing on this one. This is a Dennis Camp written series. One of my favorite comic book creators right now, but the artwork for Stepan Morian in this was insane stuff. So it's all about, it's like World War II time frame, and super powerful people exist in this world. So, whoever is the super powerful person for the US versus the super powerful person for the Russia side or whatever. And it's kind of like the Cold War, post-World War II situation, but involving super powered people among these super powerful nations. So yeah, I thought 20th Century Men was fascinating read, really makes you think. No surprise from Dennis Camp, but they got the excellent artwork for Stepan Morian. Great stuff there. Let's go number 19. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a fan of Darwin Cook. This has to be one of the most overhyped reads of all time. I liked it. I guess I'm not like a Hal Jordan guy, so like the focus on Hal Jordan for like the meat of this kind of took me out of it. I loved like the back third. The back third was some really great stuff. Thought it took a little bit to like get going, and then again, that focus on Hal Jordan, not the biggest fan of Hal Jordan. But yeah, I mean, it's a Darwin Cook classic series. Everybody's got to read it. It's just like before I started reading it, everybody says it's like the greatest DC series of all time. Not quite for me, but it's up there. It's up there. Just not my favorite DC read of all time. It's kind of similar to the next thing we're talking about. Let's talk about number 18, All-Star Superman. I read this in the Absolute, and I think that kind of helped. Seeing, Frank Quitely's oversized artwork is really great. I thought the beginning of All-Star Superman, it took a little bit to like settle in and like, okay, it's the Grant Morrison like wackiness. So yeah, I thought this series took a little bit to get going. I would say after the Jimmy Olsen issue, then the series starts ripping, and then it's like really, really good stuff. But not even like my favorite Superman read of the year, as you guys will see as we get deeper into the list. But yeah, glad I had a chance to read All-Star Superman before the movie came out earlier in the year. That was kind of my goal, to read a bunch of Superman. So yeah, a great read, one that I'll, think about from time to time, but I'm not in like a rush to reread it, and I have other Superman stories on my list that I prefer just a little bit more. Let's talk about number 17. So speaking of Superman, we're going Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen, Matt Fraction's story with Steve Lieber on the art. One of the wackiest things, almost as wacky as Sex Criminals, maybe even a little bit more so, because for a while when you're reading this story, you're not sure what Matt Fraction is cooking up, like what the hell's going on. Jimmy Olsen has to essentially solve his own attempted murder, and it gets really wacky. We get into all sorts of corners of the DC universe. It's just a super fun story, but you have to like kind of stick with it. Like trust Matt Fraction. He's gonna be bringing you on this wacky journey, but it's worth it in the end. The way this thing wraps up is really beautiful. So yeah, definitely recommend Who Killed Jimmy Olsen. I gotta get that deluxe edition. 16 is gonna be Captain America by Ed Brubaker, volume number 1. It's on the shelf and I don't wanna get it off the shelf. Really great read. It's got that Winter Soldier stuff. It made me see Captain America in a whole new light. So I really appreciated that. So yeah, shout out to Ed Brubaker. He does it again. He has like a reinvention for a character for me that kind of just changed everything. I think I'm a Captain America fan now after reading Ed Brubaker, Captain America, volume number 1. Great artwork in that. I just love that, yeah, like that spy sort of slant for Captain America. I thought it was really cool. 15 on my list, we're going Friday, the series. So we have, this is an Ed Brubaker written series with artwork from Martin and Vicente. Really beautiful stuff here. I love the Friday character. I thought she was one of my favorite Ed Brubaker protagonists of all time. Just a really nice read. I have it in the trades here, but I got to get that deluxe edition. It was so cool. Just a really great Halloween, kind of Christmassy type of read. It takes place in like the winter. And yeah, it gets like that horror, sort of otherworldly, supernatural elements in it. But yeah, just a great Christmassy time sort of read, and really recommend it. So that's going to be on my number 15. Number 14, we're going Silver Surfer. This is from Dan Slott and the All Reds. Excellent read here. Technically, I read half of it digitally, but what an excellent read, man. Just like, I haven't read too much of the Cosmo side of Marvel, but this really just kind of opened up my world and just showing me that, like, hey, cosmic side of Marvel, almost anything is possible. And yeah, what an excellent, just super fun read as we see the Silver Surfer racing through the spaceway, racing through all of space with his companion. And yeah, just the journey that they go on, I really kind of loved it. And yeah, I never read Silver Surfer in my life, but now I'm a Silver Surfer fan. So that's really cool at my number 14 spot. Number 13, we're going Reckless Book 2, Reckless, A Friend of the Devil. This was an excellent read. I still really love the Ethan Reckless character. This one just felt like a little personal for me, dealing with immigration, specifically immigration from Vietnam. So yeah, just like from like a personal point, this one has stuck with me all year, and I just got to continue reading the Reckless series. I have the other 3 behind me, and yeah, I just got to continue reading it. I think Reckless is one of my favorite Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips sort of projects that they've done. So yeah, just a read that stuck with me for more of a personal reason. That's why it gets my number 13 spot. Number 12, we're going Mr. Miracle, a Tom King classic series with Mitch Gerads on the art. I love this thing, man. I love Mr. Miracle. I love Big Barda. What a power couple. Just a fantastic read. One that has stuck with me for sure. The focus on like mental health, just seeing this Mr. Miracle character and the struggles he deals with. Yeah, Mr. Miracle is one of those stories that truly is as good as everybody says it is. It was not a story that let me down in any ways. You got that classic 9-panel grid. And yeah, I just fell in love with Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, one of my favorite characters in all of DC, and this read was a big reason why. Number 11, almost cracking the top 10. Let's go The Road. Obviously, this is an adaptation, graphic novel adaptation from Manu Larsenet. But I just got to show you the art style, man. The boy and the man as they cross this post-apocalyptic wasteland. But you got that excellent artwork from Manu Larsenet. It just really brought this story to life in a different way. I'm a fan of The Road from like when I was a kid. It's like one of my favorite reads from when I was a kid, but this is my favorite way to read The Road now. Manu Larsenet brought like a new dimension to this story that, yeah, I thought was just excellent. So gotta read The Road. Excellent kind of monotone art style from Manu Larsenet, and one of the best graphic novel adaptations that I've ever read. Excellent stuff there. Let's go number 10. Cracking the number 10, we're going deluxe edition of Deadly Class. Volume number 2, so sick, dude. I fucking love Deadly Class. Rick Remender is such a G. I love Craig and Boyd on the art. It's just like one of my favorite sort of like anti-Harry Potter. It's all the kids that are trained to be assassins at the school, and they're all killing each other. It's so action-packed. I love the ensemble here, and just like quite possibly my favorite Rick Remender series. So as I continue chipping away at Deadly Class, I liked volume number 2, maybe a little more than volume number 1, but just such an excellent world. This thing rips. This thing's so fun. Yeah, you got to check out Deadly Class if you haven't yet, especially in this oversized Rick Remender deluxe edition format. It's so sick. Number 9 on my list, let's go Descender. So book number 1, book number 2, I'm just lumping them all together. Descender from Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, one of my favorite reads of all time. So sick, this sci-fi world that they built. As we see this character named Tim 21, he wakes up and he just goes on this crazy journey. He's an android, he's a robot, but it's like that story of, what makes a human? Can this android show like human characteristics and personality traits and stuff? And how human is he and how human can he be? Really fascinating world that they built here. Great ensemble in this story as well, as we get little peeks in everybody's story and the way it all ties in together at the end. Just beautiful stuff. I got to read Ascender, the sequel series to Descender. I'll be reading that next year and I'm going to be loving it, I'm sure. Dustin Nguyen, Jeff Lemire, instant classic with Descender. So sick. You guys got to check it out. Almost to the end of the list here. We're getting into the top 8. Superman Smashes the Klan. A Jin Luen Yang instant classic. As I was trying to read more Superman stories before the Superman movie came out, this one, for all the reasons I said, Reckless, book number 2 stuck with me, because like the story about immigration and that stuff just hits really hard for me. So that's what this is. This is the story, the ultimate story of Superman and the immigration aspects of it. We have a great ensemble here with Tommy and Roberta. It's just like you just fall in love with these characters and kind of the early 40s, 50s kind of time setting that takes place in. It just feels classic, but it also feels timeless. Jin Luen Yang, banger story here with Gui Hiro on the art. It seems like it's going to be for kids, right? But, the kind of values and the Superman Smashes the Klan really good. Let's talk about Royal City coming in at my number 7. Jeff Lemire story. Might be my favorite Jeff Lemire story of all time, besides Maze Book. Maze Book has always stuck with me when I read it for the first time. That like opened my eyes to Jeff Lemire, but Royal City has got to be up there. This story about their sibling that died and just that hole that he leaves in their lives and just, the ripple effects that it has throughout the rest of their lives, and they're always dealing with it. Going as far as to haunt his, a different version of him, haunting each sibling and each parent. It's just like a heartbreaking series as we see kind of what led this kid to, what led to his death. And yeah, man, it's like a really, really heartbreaking story. But the way it wraps up, one of the most beautiful endings to a graphic novel that I've ever read. Royal City, you got to check it out. It's that classic Jeff Lemire art style you probably know and love. But it's a really great, just really great. Royal City, you got to check it out. One of my favorite Jeff Lemire stories for sure. It's like top 2. It's like that or Maze Book. You can ask me tomorrow and I'll probably flip. Number 6, we're going Batman the Cult, deluxe edition. This was sick, dude. This was so sick. So we have Starlin, Wrightson, and Ray. It's the story of Batman at his like lowest that I've ever seen. We get him almost joining a cult, right? And he's been drugged in his mind and he's so out of it. But seeing the it's the Jason Todd Robin come to his rescue, and it's a great like Batman and Robin story near the end. Batman at its lowest, but being helped out and saved by Robin. It's just such an epic story. And the artwork is like the wackiest tripped out stuff I've ever seen in a Batman story. Like this thing, it's so unique from other Batman stories that I've read. So one that stuck with me, I can't stop thinking about Batman the Cult, and that's why it gets my number 6 pick. The next two are on my Omni shelf and I don't feel like getting them. We're going with number 5, Avengers by Jonathan Hickman, Omnibus Volume 1. I am not like an Avengers guy typically. I've never read like an Avengers run, but the whole Jonathan Hickman saga has been so epic, and I'm so glad to continue it with the Avengers stuff. I gotta read volume number 2 next year, but yeah, it made me see the Avengers team in a whole new light, and I just think that Jonathan Hickman's like overarching like storytelling, it's just some of the most epic stuff in Marvel. So yeah, gotta give it some love. Gotta give Avengers by Jonathan Hickman my number 5 spot. Number 4, we're going Catwoman of East End. You guys can probably see it right there. Ed Brubaker story with that Darwin Cook artwork. And yeah, just Catwoman, one of my favorite like looks at the Gotham City. I just love Selena Kyle as a character after reading that. Who knew that Selena Kyle had a really great ensemble as well? But Ed Brubaker just killing it on that one. And then let's talk about at number 3, some Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips goodness. I loved Incognito. Incognito is so sick. It's like their other stories that you know and love, like that crime sort of, you know, scratching that sort of itch, but just the fact that it had some superhero, like pulpy influences as well, it kind of took it over the top for me and cemented it as one of my favorite Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips reads. Like I think, you know, obviously you gotta go Criminal, right? Criminal's so sick. I really like Fatale as well. I like that Fatale Joe character is just so great as a protagonist, but Incognito is up there for me, man. It's a top 5 Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips collaboration. It's probably number 3 or 2. It's up there, guys. So Incognito, I'm so lucky to have it in this hardcover format. Such a great read, easily in my top 5, and I had to place it at number 3. It was so sick. That means that number 2 and number 1, we're talking like the best stories of all time. And when you guys see number 2 is East of West, you might agree, dude. So East of West, such an epic story. It's got that great Jonathan Hickman overarching story that I love, but it's all contained in this beautiful compendium. But you got the Dragotta artwork. Dragotta is like the GOAT. He's so sick. All his style is so cool. This story wouldn't have worked without Dragotta on the art. Like I guarantee you. And yeah, just all the characters, just the whole story, the whole journey all throughout is so good. I love the world that they built here, and yeah, East to West is like on the Mount Rushmore of Image Comics. It's up there easily, man. It's up there. So definitely got to check out East to West. But guys, favorite read of the year, we're giving it to Up in the Sky. Superman Up in the Sky. I try to read it before the Superman movie comes out, and I was just tearing up, dude. I'm just crying. Every time I stop and I think about this story, for those that don't know, it's one question. It's how far would Superman go to save one girl? And that just like sums up the whole story. He goes till the ends of the universe, bro. This guy gets put through heaven and hell all to save this one girl. And I just thought it was the most touching story, most touching Superman story, and it sticks with me, dude. Every time I like close my eyes and I think about Superman, this is the first thing that comes up. Just all of Superman, just, you know, distilled into one perfect story. Superman Up in the Sky, my favorite Superman story of all time, man. So that's what we got, dude. My 25 most favorite reads of the year. You know, like while I'm going through the year, you don't think you're reading so much, but once you do a video like this and have it all summed up, I had some pretty good reads this year, man. So look forward to next year when I do the same thing. I'll be sure to let you guys know what I'm reading every single month. Always doing reviews of my monthly reads throughout the month as well. But yeah, dude, that's what we got. A lot of great stuff. Let me know what you guys enjoyed reading. What was your best thing that you read this year? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Your comments for the month of December. 10 comments, questions, and concerns that you guys, the audience, have left on my videos over the last month or so. We're going to get through them today, answer you guys some questions, and if you have any more, be sure to leave them down in the comments. We'll get to them in the month of January, but we're starting off, something very special happened to me, guys, all right? Jim Lee, the legend, followed me on Instagram. So I posted a TikTok reel, Instagram reel, and I was talking about DC Next Level, some new series that are coming out next year from DC, the Batwoman, the Lobo, and the Deathstroke series. So Jim Lee loved my reel, dude. So he followed me off the reel. He also posted just like a really nice write-up, kind of like a little paragraph thing, just thanking all the fans for all their enthusiasm and support over the last year. And I'll be honest, guys, I jumped in Jim Lee's DMs. I just thanked him for all that he does, all the passion, infectious passion that he has for comics. And as just an Asian American, Jim Lee is such a legend that I've looked up to. He DM'd back, you know, no biggie. He said, let us know how we're doing next year for DC stuff because we're really excited about it. So yeah, dude, Jim Lee, friend of the show, Jim Lee. No problem, no worries there. But yeah, let's get into some other questions from you guys, the audience. Starting off with, we have Meyer HQ. Shout out Meyer. He says the Energon Deluxe editions are incredible. So for those that aren't familiar, the Energon Deluxe editions, it kind of is tricky because they have 2 versions of each one featuring different characters. So with the Transformers, right, you can either get the Optimus Prime or you can get the Starscream, collecting the same material but just different covers. Same thing for the G.I. Joe. You have Duke and then you have Cobra Commander. It's like, dang, which one do you go down, like which route? Do you go down the villains, you get the heroes? So my plan for the deluxe editions on the Energon universe, for the G.I. Joe, I'm going villains. So you get Destro, you get Cobra Commander. And then for the Transformers, I'm gonna go the heroes, the Autobots. Then you get Optimus Prime and go from there. This guy leaves his comments all month, right? And I'm pretty sure he's just cyberbullying. So obviously, I mean, just look at my face. Do I look like the glasses emoji? Kind of, right? So yeah, he just comments this long string of glasses nerd emojis on all my videos. Pretty sure it's just cyberbullying, but that's all right, man. I do kind of look like the emoji, so that's on me, if anything, right? Vic Damon, he says, will you be a fool if you don't get the V1 issues of DCKO? That's where all the fights are happening. That's it. No other issues if you can't tell from DCKO how it's gone so far. There have not been any one-on-one fights. So just referring to the fact that in DCKO, this month was like all fight month or whatever it was called. And I didn't pick up Cyborg versus Swamp Thing. I didn't pick up Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. You guys will learn. I've been around the block. I've done some DC events in my day, right? I'm a new comic book reader, but you got to learn to not pick up everything in a DC event. It just gets a little crazy. So I don't care about some of these fights. I don't really give a shit about. I'll catch them when they're on DC Universe Infinite. LD Wheeling, shout out LD. He says, another banger. I feel the same way about Iron Man. Never the biggest fan of Iron Man, but I've been loving everything that Williamson has been doing, so I think I'm gonna give it a try. So this is in reference to the new Iron Man ongoing series starting up next year from writer Josh Williamson. I'm a pretty big Josh Williamson fan like nowadays, but I wasn't maybe like a year or 2 ago. Wasn't the biggest fan of his take on Batman. Wasn't the biggest fan of his Batman and Robin, but all the Superman stuff and the stuff over at like G.I. Joe, I've been loving it. So yeah, if anyone's gonna get me to pull an Iron Man series, a character I really don't care that much about, it would be Josh Williamson. So we'll see how we feel about it next year for sure. Next up, we got Big Bang 711 says, awesome books. I'm curious, how big was your channel when publishers first reached out to you to send you some stuff? I would say on the TikTok, I would say maybe on the YouTube, I'm still a little bit too small to really kind of make that impact. But on the TikTok, probably around like, maybe like 7,000, 8,000. Once you hit the 10,000, it's a lot easier for sure. But yeah, you gotta have some sort of impact. I see people online, you know, just like, I'm the biggest DC fan, they never send me anything. It's like, yeah, you gotta have like some sort of platform. They're using it for a marketing push. Like they're not just sending stuff to fans. They're sending stuff to fans so they can be excited about it and share their excitement with their audience, get them excited about it too, right? So there's a whole game to it. It's not really just them sending it out to fans. So you do need some kind of platform before you start getting these opportunities. But it's all thanks to you guys, the audience, for giving me that love and support. Did a little thing with Whatnot. They sent me some omnis, right? Allowed me to shop on their site. Stuff like that wouldn't happen without you guys' love and support. So always appreciated. Shout out Big Bang for leaving that comment. Johnny Boy 52 says, please add AI dubbing to your videos. Brazilian viewer here. This one's interesting. So I can look into that option. AI dubbing sounds a little bit weird to me. Like that sounds like my video would play and then it would put a voice over my voice that isn't mine and it would be speaking in whatever language you're looking for. That just sounds like a weird viewing experience to me. I can look into captions, right? We can see what kind of captions we can do, but automatic AI dubbing, That sounds a little weird, man. So I'll have to look into that setting. We'll see what we can do for you, because I want to have my videos be accessible as possible, but AI dubbing, I'll have to look into that. It sounds weird on paper, but we'll see what we can do. Miles Diaz says, what's the difference between this and DC Black Label? I'm a Marvel guy, but trying to get into some more DC. So essentially asking me what the difference is between DC Vertigo and DC Black Label. So DC Black Label, I've always looked at it as, you know, it can be any story that an author or that a writer team wants to tell, but they don't have to follow the strict DC continuity. They can use DC characters and include them in their story, but it doesn't have to tie back to the main overarching DC continuity. You can have more freedom with the stories you want to tell. Same kind of thing over on the Vertigo side, but with Vertigo, you don't have to include any DC characters. It's totally separate from DC continuity, DC lore. It's totally unique characters created for that story. More like how Image Comics works, right? Where DC Black Label involving some DC characters. A couple more comments here. We got Jash the Mad says, why would anyone be more interested in Batwoman over Lobo? We figured it out in the comments, so I'm not gonna give this guy too much hate, but people got preferences, you know what I mean? And Lobo, I just do not give a shit about Lobo. Any character with like chains or pouches, like I've never been that kind of guy. Like I'm not a Ghost Rider guy. I'm not a Deadpool guy. I'm not a Venom, Carnage. Like that 90s kind of era of just like over the top, wearing pouches, killing people, you got chains and stuff. Those kind of characters have never appealed to me. So yeah, that's why I would be more interested in Batwoman over Lobo. Just my personal preference, dude. And we've got a comment from Cowboy Hat Comics. He says, we need a full recap of everything I read everything I got this year, if possible. Next week, I'll be doing a top 25 comic book pickups over the year. So every collected edition, all the top 25 collected editions I bought this year and added to my collection. So something similar, but not everything I bought over the year, just the top 25. But yeah, great idea. That video is coming next week. Last comment, I'm pretty sure, yep. We got Pocket Sand 9989 says, Omar is a pretty big reason why I started reading comics. He made it so simple. You are sort of doing the same with upcoming comics, since mostly I've been reading older comics. So yeah, shout out to Pocket Sand. Having Omar as a mutual, I feel so fortunate every day. What a legend. I've always looked up to Omar. So if you, I mean, all the compliments saying that I'm kind of doing something similar to Omar, but like on the single issue side, I very much appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work, you know, but we're on the grind and we're loving every minute of it. But that's the last comment. Shout out to you guys, the audience, for all the love and support, of course. And if you have a question, leave it down below. We'll get to it in January. But thank you guys for watching in. Read more comics.